Good morning, everyone. Today we will be talking marketing with our friend Kait LeDonne of LeDonne Marketing. But before we begin, I want to touch on a couple items. Over the past 2 days, we enjoyed the business entity seminars with Gear Up, which was presented by Tim Sandstrom. During the class and during the program, the Maryland Society of Accounting Scholarship Foundation presented the Sidney Weinberg Award to Ryan Cottrell. This award is presented to an applicant who has the highest GPA and who attends University of Maryland, who is one of the applicants for the scholarship, not overall in the university, just from the applicants that we received. We just want to send our congratulations to Ryan for doing such a great job, and we hope you much success in the future. Tomorrow, the Free State Weekly will be coming out. Included in this week's edition will be a tax release from the state of gives guidance on the Wayfair court decision. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You can learn more about this issue at the seminar we are offering next Tuesday, September 25th in Owings Mills. Now, if your office is on the Eastern Shore or down Southern Maryland, no need to fret. Not only are we offering it as a seminar, we are also offering as a webinar. So if you'd like to either attend the seminar or the webinar, we still have space available. Just log into our website or give us a call at 1-800-922-9672 and we'll get you registered. Back in June, we talked about one of the bills that passed at this year's session, which was the Community College Promise Scholarship Bill. The Maryland Higher Education Commission has set up a page on their website which outlines how to apply and who is eligible for this scholarship. The very first thing the student must complete to set up the account is to set up an account with the Maryland College Aid Processing System. They use the acronym MD-CAPS. So if you see that, that's what that's standing for. This must be done in their senior year of college or within the last 2 years of graduating from high school or earning their GED. Now, just to recap what the bill is, if the student is eligible, they can receive up to $5,000 annually from community college after any other student or financial aid has been applied to the student tuition and fees. This site will give you some additional information, talked about the eligibility, and talk about what you need to do to make sure your student or your client's student is eligible for this great benefit. Now, let's bring in Kait and let's talk some marketing. Good morning, Kait, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be on the show again, and I am particularly excited to be chatting with you guys this week because we're talking about social media. We're on social media at this moment, so it's very fitting that we're having this conversation, right? So really the intentions of what I want to cover today, Sandy and everybody in MSATP member community, is I want to start by dispelling a common misconception. Okay, are you guys ready for this one? And that
I'm holding the fort. Go.
Oh, good. Okay. You don't need to be on every social media platform. Again, you do not need to be on every social media platform. Now, I know that's a relief to a lot of us as small business owners because it's like, oh, great, I don't have to spend all this time. But I don't just say it to save you time. It's actually more effective from a marketing perspective if you're not on every social media platform. Because here's the deal. Every social platform has its own nuances, rules, and etiquette. And what a lot of people do is that they look at their larger competition, or they have a millennial who's doing their marketing, which is totally fine, or Gen Z at this point, and they're saying, okay, well, here's the up and coming platforms and here's what the larger companies are doing and here's all these options. We got to be here, we got to be there. And the reality is you don't. And what ends up happening is people get on all these different platforms. They're on Twitter, they're on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn. and they just put the same content on every platform, and that doesn't work because that's not how the different platforms are structured. And it actually becomes very transparent that you're just mass blasting to platforms if you don't have a specific strategy for each. So when I coach and consult clients, I always tell them, especially when they're smaller businesses, you need to look at where your clients are and reverse engineer that, and just pick one, maybe at the most 2 platforms, and get that down and get that pat and really have your strategy and your communication lined up on those channels, and be the best in your industry at that platform. I promise you'll see returns on that. Okay, so it's not. Go ahead,
question on that. So say I'm with my business, I start out on Facebook.
Yep.
And then there's some up and coming new platform like hey, here we are platform. When do I know if I should move over to the new up and coming, or should it be evaluated on an individual basis? What should I be doing for that?
Great question. So definitely an individual basis. And I always recommend that you don't move to a new platform until you have a system and a strategy down pat for the first platform you're on. So if you started on Facebook and you know what the content is, maybe you're doing live videos once a week, you're doing some posts back to your blog, you have that pattern down, you have maybe an intern who's handling it, you know how to keep up with incoming messages, you've got your system down, you've really got that on lock, then you are in a place where, because that has a system, you can examine a new platform. Now, you only want to move to the new platform if you've examined the platform and you determine a few of the following. 1, my audience is there. Again, who are you trying to reach out to, and what platforms are they on? Not just because it's the new and upcoming platform, but because they're there and they're actively seeking information or interaction on those platforms. Number 2, do I understand it? And if so, I mean, you have to learn it, right? But is the content that I'm comfortable putting out a good match for this platform? So something like Snapchat, which came up and really gained momentum with a younger population, I would argue that unless you're going after intentionally younger business owners, it might not be the best fit because they're not spending a lot of time on there. It's usually media companies who are on there. The platform itself is having some challenges, and your content disappears after 24 hours. So probably not the best fit. So to answer your question, definitely look at it on an individual basis, and do not consider jumping until you really have your systems down on the other platforms. Conversely, you can look at when's it time to get off of a platform if you find that your audience is moving over to another platform on social and you're not getting quite the return that you used to on that platform. Might be time to kind of take the foot off of the gas. A good example of this is Twitter. Twitter is still an extremely valuable platform. Obviously, a lot of us get news and sound bites from Twitter. However, when it comes to getting getting clients from Twitter, I would advocate for most accounting and tax professional businesses, it's not the best lead gen tool. It's really great for industry news, but your clients are probably spending more time on other platforms. So you always want to be examining where are the people I'm trying to reach going, and always start with reverse engineering your clients. That is always going to be the keys to the kingdom versus just this new platform is the new up and.
Thank you.
Did I lose you guys? Good? Am I still here? Okay. So that being said, it's not just content creation with social media channels that you have to worry about. You also have to have a system set up to handle incoming messages. So I really started to get rocking on LinkedIn, and I was posting a ton of content on LinkedIn. What I didn't account for was the fact that I would start getting 10 and 12 messages a day on the platform. This is great, right? What a problem to have. A lot of these were prospects on LinkedIn, but it is a lot when you're also running a business. You're getting 10 and 12 inquiries, you're posting content. So you want to make sure that, again, if you're on multiple different platforms, you not only have a system for content creation, you have a system to manage the influx of those inquiries that you're going to get on platforms. for myself and my team, my executive assistant started responding to those messages on LinkedIn and taking them off of the platform and into an email inbox and a phone call situation after vetting them and seeing that they were a good fit. So I just always caution people, it's a dangerous situation if you think I'm just going to show up, throw up, post a lot of content, but not actually interact with incoming messages or comments that I get back on the content, because then people again see pretty transparently, oh, this person is just coming out here pushing stuff. They're not engaging. And the whole point of being on social media and the value of it as a marketing channel is you do have the opportunity to have those two-way conversations with your audiences.
Right.
Any questions about that from anybody?
Well, yes, actually, I do have a question. So you were saying your assistant moves it into an email. Is there any way to take those LinkedIn messages that they automatically drop into your Outlook box directly, or do you have to? That's my biggest time, is I have to go to all these different sites. You can automatically drop into your Outlook?
You know, I don't think at this point, although Microsoft does own LinkedIn now, so maybe there's a way that they're going to set that up. And platforms like, I always wonder if I'm saying this right, Zapier, they kind of create like API connections to things between platforms. You could look at workarounds with that. There might be something with Zapier that could set it up, but different platforms have different options. So with a Facebook business page, you can send auto messages back to people. So for some of my clients, they have one that says, you know, we love being on Facebook. We are a small business. We're working really hard. As you can imagine, we're not always right here at the Facebook messages. Do us a favor and also shoot us a copy of what you just sent to info@whatever, and we'll respond. Otherwise, look for a response in 24 hours. You just want to set expectations with your response. So no, I haven't found that yet on LinkedIn. So my assistant continually handles them, but I'm hoping that the LinkedIn inbox, I could go on a whole diatribe about that. I won't. But
I just thought you might know off the top of your head. So
yeah.
Continue. I'll take a look at that. Like you said, there might be an API out there that will make that happen. So thank you.
Yeah, and Zapier, and again, not to go on a tangent with Zapier, Zapier, but you can set up a lot of things. At one point, I had a thing with Zapier that would scroll Twitter and find speaking opportunities and import it into an Evernote list for me, which was really cool because then I didn't have to go on Twitter and look for conferences that needed marketing speakers. I would just pull up Evernote and see all the speaking opportunities off of tweets that it put into a note. So it was really great. I had this almost auto AI assistant that would just hand deliver to me every day, here's speaking opportunities from Twitter. But it was really because I set up a search and had it import into an Evernote. So there's a lot of tools out there that can make social media really valuable for you in ways that you might not even be thinking about it. And Zapier is one of those tools.
Wow, thank you. That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was quite impressed myself. So I want to spend some time, Sandy, also going over a quick overview of options, right? Because we just talked about you don't need to be on every channel, but I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about what channels you might want to be paying attention to and why you might want to be paying attention to them. So I always love a good LinkedIn. You guys know that. We're doing a marketing presentation and seminar with the Maryland Society on October 17th, really diving into this and marketing your business on social media. But I love LinkedIn because it's generally good for everybody. Both large and small businesses with both large and small clienteles can do well on LinkedIn. It provides a variety of content posting options. You can do video, you can do picture, you can do links. So whether you're a writer, whether you're naturally good on camera, even if you have a podcast, you can post on LinkedIn. It's really great. And again, I generally find that whether you're dealing with larger or smaller clients, they're on LinkedIn. Another thing I like about LinkedIn is if you're having not that great of success reaching out to somebody traditionally, whether that's on the phone or via email, sending them a LinkedIn direct message still is enough of a disruptor that it kind of does a pattern disrupt for them from other ways that they're used to being reached out to. So I've gotten in touch with some people who I shouldn't have necessarily gotten in touch with by way of LinkedIn. One of those people was the gentleman that wrote the book E-Myth, Michael Gerber. I loved that book, and I just would follow him, and LinkedIn was actually the platform that got me connected to him, and he would actually comment on my statuses because I quote him quite often. So LinkedIn, don't underestimate the power of it. The press is also on LinkedIn. 94.2% of journalists rank it as their preferred networking platform. It's how I started getting quoted on Fox Business out of Manhattan. So this is really my go-to platform for all things B2B. And I think it's and B2C in some cases, but definitely B2B, it's a phenomenal fit. Facebook, we all know and love Facebook. We're on it right now doing this show. I really like Facebook for local and small businesses who also serve in a B2C capacity. So for tax preparers who are working with individuals and families, Facebook is a really great option. Facebook's ad platform is quite robust. Despite some of the things that they got themselves into with hot water, you're still going to see the data is really strong. There's no more effective way, in my opinion, for a cost-effective standpoint to build your brand awareness in a community than utilizing Facebook advertising. So Facebook is really, really great. Again, like LinkedIn, it gives you a variety of posting mechanisms. You can do video, you can write, you can post pictures. Everything is available on Facebook. Instagram is a platform that is very popular with millennials and Gen Z. You know, some of you might have heard that millennials have kind of made the flight from Facebook over to Instagram. It's true, we're spending a lot of time there. So if you're going after millennial business owners, maybe people who are in their upper 20s, younger 30s, this is a good platform to look at, but you need to be aware of the fact that Instagram is predicated upon sharing photos and videos. So if you are not ready to post that kind of content, you need to really examine it because it is a visual first platform. They also have really great options like doing live videos on Instagram since they are owned by Facebook, and they have good targeting opportunities with their ads. But again, you have to be ready to have visual content. So whether it's you in the office, you with clients, inspirational decorated quotes, you can't just write and send links on Instagram. You need a picture or a video as the primary basis of the post. Twitter is like drinking from a fire hydrant. It's good if you're into writing articles, going after thought leadership, staying on top of industry news, looking for speaking opportunities, things of that nature. I often tell people that if you're a big business that has a customer service component like Southwest or Bank of America, Twitter is great for your customers because that's generally where they're reaching out. But for a lot of small businesses, unless you're going after those thought leadership opportunities, when it comes to lead generation, it's not my favorite. And it is a lot of energy you have to pour into the platform to get a return. And then the last one I'll kind of round out with here, I alluded to it earlier, is Snapchat. Snapchat is I'll say a fleeting version of Instagram in that the content that you post is not evergreen. People are only seeing it for a short amount of time and then it disappears. A lot of media publications are on this, a lot of content-rich platforms. Honestly, I don't do much with marketing on it. Unless you're going after Gen Z, millennials, I don't think it's really a good use of time other than maybe understanding it to see how your kids are interacting on it with their friends.
There you go. Just be a little spy. There you go.
Yes. And then really quickly, I also just wanted to just talk about, so we covered the platforms, but I also want to talk about what you need to determine before you go on social media. So remember that people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. The best part of social media is that it was a channel that was built for humans to interact with each other. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to establish that know, like, and trust that's paramount to somebody doing business with you. Problem is, when I work with clients, I see a lot of the times they get on these social media platforms and all of a sudden it's marketing. So they adopt this very like weird business corporate voice. And it actually goes against what really works on social media. being raw, being real, being authentic, showing pictures of your family, showing pictures of your workplace, showing pictures of your staff, that's actually what people want to see, because that's the kind of things that you connect with over clients at dinner or a networking event. Like, oh, my kids go to school there too, or oh, I also have a Labradoodle. It's, don't hide those parts of your business and yourself on social media, because it's actually what makes people want to engage with you. You don't just need to, I'm not saying be unprofessional, but don't get this weird, I am doing business now, I will post in a very business corporate voice. People, it goes against what the platform's intentions are. So lean into the know, like, and trust. Write like you were speaking to a client, film like you were speaking to a client, invite them into your life like you're talking to a friend, because as we know, our accounting and our tax professionals and our financial teams, our wealth advisors, like, they become part of our family, and you want to know things about that. So my bookkeeper, we're friends on Facebook, and I love seeing all of the posts of her young girls and when they're going to school and what she and her husband are up to. And I also love reading tips that she puts out about QuickBooks and things like that. I just feel like I know her so much better. It makes me excited that we do business together. So definitely be okay with that.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
So on Facebook, you know, and that you all have to have it attached to a person, and then you have your business within that. On a personal side, there is some things I don't want to share with my business clients, that won't be seen on my personal side, correct?
That's right. And you can also filter out with their, they have settings for who can and can't see the posts. So okay. Some posts I definitely am not showing to certain people. I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty much an open book. My life and my business operates not only on social media, but because of social media. And generally what you see is what you get. And there are ways to curtail certain people from seeing certain types of content.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. I also want to address what I like to call the expert gap on social media. So here's the deal, guys. You do what you do day in and day out, 365. Your expert level, you're probably at that 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell identifies as expert level. So what seems incredibly commonplace for you is still confounding to people who aren't in your space. So I always tell clients this: you're operating at expert level 10. Your clients, and your potential clients especially, are operating at best on levels 1, 2, or 3. 3 is very generous. So you want to come and meet them where they are, so they feel heard and understood and know that you get their problem. And in our best attempts from expert level 10 to hop down to where our clients are on level 1 or 2, we still end up at level maybe 5. And it doesn't connect with clients. So you want to make sure that you're posting content, and this is good because it'll give you a lot of content to post that even sounds basic or elementary for you, because I promise it's the content like, do you set up an LLC or an S Corp, that might sound very commonplace or not that intensive a subject to unpack. You wanna put that out there, because that's a question that your potential clients are coming and seeking counsel on. And keep it basic. So I even write things like the difference between sans serif font and serif font in the logo. For me, it's very basic to know the difference between those two fonts, but for my clients, it's they don't know that. So make sure that you're speaking to where your clients are and not where you are. And a good way to do this while also generating a lot of content is just take the top 10 to 15 basic questions clients softball throw at you and generate content around that. Do a video, do a post, but answer those questions, because if your clients are asking it of you, you better believe your potential clients have the same question, and they're going to look to you as an expert in the space because you're answering those. So really great way to come up with content, and also make sure that you're minding that expert gap. And then I also want to make sure that you pick a form of communication you're comfortable with. Some of us are great on video. Some of us are much more comfortable writing. Some of us like speaking. Again, with platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, you have the opportunities, but I will say if you might be scared to get on video. I know Sandy and Ellen probably were before we painfully forced you onto live.
Yes.
But there is no better way to show off your personality and establish know, like, trust, and credibility than going on video. It's like you across the table from your clients. So don't shy away from it. Try it once or twice. The good news is you can always take a video, transcribe it into 4 or 5 status posts, then you've got like a week of content there. So that's nice. And then the last 2 things I want to say is make sure you have a way to manage incoming messages. We've already covered that, so I'm not going to go into it. Just know that you'll start to get comments and messages on your posts. Don't leave them just hanging out there. This is people who want to engage with you. Make sure you're responding and you have a way to do that. And again, if you're struggling to come up with content, the surefire way to do it is just really look, where do my clients struggle? What are they dealing with? And how can I just continually bring value to them in the form of posts? I promise you, this is the best way to get potential clients on social media, because it's actually coming from the trenches of people who look and struggle with the same things they do. So they're going to look at you as somebody who understands where they are and is ready to meet them where they are and help. So that is my overview on social media. My, again, key takeaways: don't be everywhere. It actually works against you, not for you, unless you have a team and systems to manage it. Pick the platform where your audience and your clients are, right on their level. Don't be afraid to show off your personality and who you are as a person. And if you're stuck on content, look at those frequently asked questions and build from there.
Great. Well, thank you, Kait. I just want to share a couple things from your presentation that I want to share. Well, first off, on the video, I remember the first morning you said, you're going to be on TV. I went, I don't think so. And so you pried me on there. And have you noticed, since then, I have become more comfortable. And now when we do our Zoom meetings on Friday, I've actually opened up my camera so now you can see me. And that only took, 5 months? So it was baby steps, but it happens. And thank you for forcing me to do that, because I think I've become more confident as well. So thank you for that.
Gotcha.
And I want to talk a little bit about the content. We have many members who all have people or children or relatives who are at the schools with the PTOs and all the meetings at the schools. Ellen and I attended an event this past Saturday at Towson Community College where we presented to the financial instructors for the Anne Arundel County schools. And it was interesting, the questions that we have, just like you were saying, that, we do this every day. So the questions, we wouldn't even thought, that these were so basic. It was pretty amazing. If you are looking to expand your practice, take an opportunity, reach out to your local school, ask them if they're having a PTA meeting, go there, make a brief presentation. And the questions you get from the audience, that could give you your content for your Facebook presentation. And I'll tell you, I think that's just something I'll share with you, because I think that's a great idea.
It's eye-opening, guys. Don't forget, your clients are hiring you because they don't know what you know. They don't know what they don't know. So it's going to seem extremely elementary for you writing some of this stuff, but it's actually the best content you could be putting out there. The things that are challenging to you are going to go right like this over your potential client's head. So remember, the expert gap. Bring it down, and even on your best attempt, I promise you're going to land at a 5, which is still above where they're at.
Yes, you're right. Well, I'll tell you, it was some great ideas and some great points that you shared with us this morning. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. And thank you also for all the great things you're doing with MSATP. Your support and guidance through our marketing challenge has been amazing. And we have been successful because of you. And I just want to share our thanks to you for helping us through this.
It's my absolute honor and pleasure. I love you guys.
Thank you. Well, next week, we're going to be joined by Betty Stamen. Betty is a CPA with Frost & Associates and the current secretary of MSATP. Betty and I will be sharing some facts and updates from our meeting that we're going to be having with the IRS on Monday, September 24th. So it's going to be interesting to hear from the IRS what they have planned for the tax practitioner for the upcoming tax season. So make sure you tune in next week, and hopefully we'll have some good tidbits to share with you about what's going to be happening with the IRS and our next upcoming tax season. So until then, have a wonderful day. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine. And again, first off, I want to be the first one to say, have a wonderful first day of fall, which is Saturday. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.